The older I get, I realize I need to be more prepared in case of an emergency. Prep Starts Now is a business that can take your family's preparedness to the next level. I just personally bought a car battery, an air compressor, an emergency backpack for the car, so now I feel prepared if anything comes my way. Go to tjritchie.com/deals, code TJ for 15% off.
News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT proudly presents America's coolest conservative. Well, proudly could be stretching it a bit. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. We got a lot of stuff happening tonight. But first of all, I got to talk to you about something personal. If you have listened to me over the years at other radio show that I did, the Ace and TJ show, you know that if something's going on that I think I would like to share with you that even doesn't have anything to do really with issues or whatnot, I'm going to do it. I'm a real person. We're going to talk about real things. And if you are just listening to me as a WBT host, then that's something that you need to know about me. From time to time, I'm going to talk about personal things. Now, my wife is famous because I make it famous for telling me about my sense of humor. She says, people don't know how to take you. Meaning that sometimes my sarcasm is not detected by people and they take whatever I'm saying that's ridiculous as being serious. Okay. Now, the morning show on WBT, they are Bo and Beth, right? I've been friends with Beth for about, at least 15 years. And Bo has been nothing but nice to me, and I like him. As a matter of fact, I've talked about many times how nice everybody has been to me since I've been on the staff here. And I will joke around about the other hosts on the radio station. I do it a lot. But when I found out, somebody that works here told me that there is another person that works here. Let's call him Herman. We'll say his name's Herman. That Herman had gone and listened to the podcast when they put it up or however it works. I'm not a technical person. I don't know. But heard my joking around about taking over the morning show, and Bo and Beth better be, worried about it because I'm Mr. Morning Show. I'm going to take it over. It was just ridiculously silly. And he took that and played it for people in the building. And I don't know whether this is true or not, but I heard he played it for, the initial story I heard was he played it for Bo and Beth, trying to figure out if that needs to be taken seriously. I don't know what the goal would be, but I do realize that when I'm joking, a lot of times it doesn't sound like I'm joking, and that's I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It's just the way I am. But I understand how people can mistake that for being serious, and a lot of times that's what true sarcasm is. You're on that edge of you like, wait, is he serious? Is he not serious? Well, last night, I didn't know that this had already gone on in the past. And I went through a big thing, just a completely ridiculous spiel about taking over the morning show. And when that was over, because it was at the end of the show, it was later on that I found out that they were already being, asked or told that I was being in trouble, So I immediately, had to do the apology tour Like if you get drunk and you act a fool and the next day you feel guilty about it. So you start calling all the people that you were with and think, hey, did I do anything out of line? I'm sorry if I did. So I did that. Come to find out, Bo and Beth, not upset at all. They knew that I was joking around. First of all, I already have a morning show. I can't do another morning show. I have a syndicated morning show called the TJ Ritchie Show. And the other thing is that Bo and Beth are great. This whole station is great. And you don't have a successful radio station without a good morning show that is successful anchoring it. I'm going to get a little bit into radio speak here because I'm a radio nerd. All right. So you can have a morning show that's successful with high ratings, and then the station not be, doing so well. But 9 times out of 10, if the station does well, the morning show is leading them, and that's what goes on WBT, right? So that's first and foremost. And I was being self-deprecating, as and I even said in the thing that they have high ratings and all of this stuff, like they wouldn't want to replace Bo and Beth with me, obviously. But the reason I make those types of jokes is, like I said, I'm a radio nerd and there are philosophies that goes with everything. And I'm not an expert on anything, but the thing I'm closest to being an expert on is how to connect with and bond with a radio audience. And my techniques may be a little bit unorthodox, but when I'm joking around like that, it's at a deeper level. I'm making a connection with the audience to say, hey, I'm being silly, but in the same, like in a subconscious way, I'm telling you how good the morning show is, and you should check out the morning show as well as listening to my show. It's kind of I want everybody that listens to the whole station to realize that we all like each other, we joke around with each other, and we're a big fun family, because that's the way I look at it. But evidently somebody, from what I've been told, didn't get it and was thinking that I'm a bad guy trying to sabotage other people's show. And I'm not. Now, nobody has said anything to me about it. So it's not like I'm coming on and telling you this just because, management told me to come apologize for, whatever. It's not like that at all. And I'm not apologizing. I'm just explaining that, basically this is the first even little bit of a kerfuffle that that I've had at the station. I'm sure it won't be the last. I had a guy when I worked at Kiss 95.1, the afternoon guy there, because I made a ridiculous joke in the same manner about him. He reported me to the management and filed a defamation complaint against me. So for the rest of the time that we worked together, I couldn't be around him because I didn't want to take a chance of him just taking anything that I say around him and running and trying to get me fired or sue me or whatever. So my attorney told me, you can't be with that guy anymore. So then when we would do like these big concert things and all, like the Gravedigger's Ball, the whole team could not go up on the stage together because I wouldn't go up there with him because of, if he's that sensitive, that touchy, I just didn't want to take a chance. So, and a lot of times people don't understand that next level of kind of I don't know whether it's a human nature thing that I'm trying to tap into to bond with you as the audience. Because let me tell you, you don't really have a successful radio career if you just have listeners, right? You got to have people who think of you in a personal way, people who know things about you, people who care about what goes on in your life outside of radio because they know that you care about them. And there is a little promo thing running right now about my shows. The guy that called and said he listened to me for years, and he almost started crying, telling me that my comedy and my sense of humor had gotten him through some rough times when he was young. So that's what I'm going for amidst all of the silliness and then all of the political analyses and all of that stuff. But the absolute last thing that I am is arrogant. I can't stand it. I can't stand when anybody, but especially radio people in my field, are arrogant. So I would never be arrogant. I just like to joke around. But obviously, some people don't absorb, this whole, I don't want to call it a science, but the philosophy that I have going deeper into connecting with the audience than your average radio personality does. All right. The only reason I'm telling you this because I thought you'd find it interesting. If you didn't, well, I know you did. Because I'm the best, obviously. The very best to ever do it. As a matter of fact, my name ought to be The Realist as a first name, to ever do it as a last name. The Realist to ever do it.
The older I get, I realize I need to be more prepared in case of an emergency. Prep Starts Now is a business that can take your family's preparedness to the next level. I just personally bought a car battery, an air compressor, an emergency backpack for the car, so now I feel prepared if anything comes my way. Go to tjritchie.com/deals, code TJ for 15% off.
Hear the TJ Ritchie Show every weeknight at 7 Eastern. Stream it live at tjritchie.com or listen later as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or My Media Center at tjritchie.com. You'll be so glad you did, hopefully. That's tjritchie.com.
He's America's coolest conservative. Welcome to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Coolest conservative and the realist to ever do it. And your next WBT morning show host. All I know is morning radio. And my talents will just go to waste if I'm not the host of that morning show. By the time Stern leaves his show, I ought to be taking over. I may keep Bo, but there's no way Beth and I can work together. The passion is too strong. You see what's happened here. Now I'm going to be like a brat. No, I'm not. I am not. All right. I'll tell you something hilarious. And it's still going on about this Sydney Sweeney American Eagle jeans ad that she did. And everybody said it's Nazi propaganda because she said blue eyes and blonde hair come from jeans and she has great jeans and whatever. Which, by the way, prompted me to let everybody know I've got pretty green eyes and they come from good jeans. I don't wear good jeans in the summer, though. It's too damn hot. Don't wear them. Well, there is a woman named Rachel Bittkoffer. She's, I guess she's some sort of liberal commentator of some sort. Let's see. Let me Google her real fast, which I should have done. I would have had time to do the show prep for this if I hadn't been so focused on how I'm going to steal the morning show. All right, let's see. What is she? She is an American political scientist. Oh, my God. Y'all, she's an American political scientist. Wow. She's 48. And here's what she had to say about the Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. Quote, "She's a butterface who looks good in jeans." Okay. Now, a butterface is a woman who has a great body, everything looks good, but her face. Okay? Now, some women don't take that as a compliment. But it's confusing because you're saying everything except one part of you is very good looking. But the one part of you is your face, and you want your face to look good too. So this is what this woman is saying. She's 48 and she posted that this week. Now I am no handsome prince, I'll tell you that. I used to be, but I have long since lost my good looks, except for my pretty green eyes that I got from good genes. This woman, Sydney Sweeney's butt would make this woman a Sunday face. Meaning, the best face that she puts on to go to church would not look as good as Sydney Sweeney's butt. This is a haggard looking woman, big back, But I mean, it's just how blind these these liberals are with envy and jealousy and hate. Like there's no sense of reality hitting this woman and saying, you know what? I better not go out there and make a negative comment about Sydney Sweeney's looking the way I do. I've got to find something else that I can criticize, because if I criticize her looks, the way she looks versus the way I look, it's going to make me seem like a laughing stock, which it has. I mean, I read that today and I looked at her picture and I busted out laughing. I mean, it would be like if, let's say, George Clooney, whatever you think of George Clooney, be that as it may, but for a man his age, he has good hair, right? So that would be if I'm coming out criticizing George Clooney, and instead of criticizing him for being an arrogant, pompous, not even close to being as smart as he thinks he is, Marxist, in my opinion, joke, instead of focusing on all those things, I just came out and said, George Clooney's hair is terrible. When if I don't shave my head, have a prominent horseshoe. That's what it's like for this beastly woman to say that Sydney Sweeney is a butterface. It's just I know it's a little thing, but it just shows the profile of the average lunatic liberal, that they have no sense of self-reflection. They're delusional for the most part, because this woman would have to be delusional and out of the real world in her head to say, yeah, I need to go online, go public, making fun of Sydney Sweeney's looks. The same way I would if I'm making fun of some guy who has really thick hair. I'm thinking about getting one. I think it's either Turkey or Egypt. They do some wonderful things with hair pieces. I've seen them all over the social medias. So I may be flying to Turkey or Egypt or one of those places, not to get a hair transplant. I wouldn't go to a doctor for a procedure in a third world country, or any other country probably. But to go over there and get a wig that looks natural, yeah, I'd snap it on. I come in here one day looking bald like I am, and then the next day I'll be looking like Guy Fieri. What? Guy Fieri got some good hair. I'd highlight the mess out of it too, boy. All right. Got to go ahead and get to this. There has been a hit piece done about Jazzy Crockett. Now, usually a hit piece is described when somebody writes an article that's not all true and it's just to tear somebody down. This one is true about Jazzy Crockett, and it's not a good one. It's not a good look for her. So we'll get into that next.
Hear the TJ Ritchie Show every weeknight at 7 Eastern. Stream it live at tjritchie.com or listen later as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or My Media Center at tjritchie.com. You'll be so glad you did, hopefully. That's tjritchie.com.
Radio, podcasts, and cool social media content. Get all the TJ you can handle at WBT.com/TJ. Now, back to the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Oh, having fun, lighting it up. Probably going to be the talk of the building tomorrow. What? I'm not hostile or anything. I just want to explain myself earlier that when I'm joking, and no need for anybody to get up in arms and worried about anything in the building. I'm on the team, you know? Like, I would never say that I'm going to try to take over the morning show if I were really trying to do it. Duh. It's that Pete calendar I'm trying to get out. I'm really coming for him. He knows it too. You hear how nervous he is every day since I've been working here? I really don't think anything could shake him. I really don't. He's solid. He's a solid fella. And he'll act like he doesn't know who I am. Oh, he's going to know. He going to know. Oh, man. What happened here? There we go. All right. So, they have done a piece on the Jasmine Crockett. Now, I told you the other night, you know, I came clean and had to let everybody know I was joking about having a crush on Jasmine Crockett. And I didn't really think she was my majestic queen. I really know she's a lowlife. Just joshing you. But I told you the other night that you know what kind of person she is by just this information that I had found out, that she is her lock screen picture on her phone. Just her. Not a picture of her doing anything with other people. Not a, picture with her husband. I guess she's married. Oh, that poor man. Can you imagine? Ugh. Gives me chills. But then this article comes out and it gives a lot more information about, who she is as a person. And let's see. They've gotten some, there were some aides or former aides of hers and staff members and all that are speaking out that don't work for her anymore. They said that she's not often found at her government-provided suite in the Longworth House building, with one insider saying she prefers to work from her nearby luxury apartment building, sometimes for weeks on end. So the people in her district that she's trying to protect so much don't even get her in the office most of the time. A former aide said, quote, "She's laying around her apartment, won't come into the office, and is really just indifferent to staff and will scream at them. She's never in the Oval Office and is never in the office and is very disengaged. She does her bull blank, then goes viral, and then freaks out over the most random things. It's widely known that she's not nice to staff and is just not a really dedicated member focused on constituents." She's focused almost exclusively on being an influencer, not a member of Congress. And then somebody else described her as all diva, no wow. Ooh. Ooh. They said when Crockett does show up for work on Capitol Hill, often to attend a committee hearing where she deploys a made-for-social media attack on Trump, she prefers to have a staff member drive her the short distance to her office in a rented car rather than the staffer's own car, a cheaper option commonly used by lawmakers. The staffer is expected to stand outside the vehicle, which, quote, has to be an Escalade, end quote, or similar upscale make, and open the door for her. So her staffer, her aides, have to act as a chauffeur, is what I'm getting out of this. And then some source said, you're technically allowed to do this, but it's wildly inefficient. Instead of using the scheduler's car, she rents a car every week in D.C. She expects her staff to drive her around while she's in the back seat. They call it a power play, akin to treating the staffer like an Uber driver. Now, yeah, I would never do that, but I know that there are a lot of these Congress people who do, they want staffers to drive them around and stuff like that. I'd be in the front seat with them. Now, I wouldn't want to be driving because I wouldn't want to have to worry about parking and all that. Just drop me off so I can get up in the building and start voting against Democrats. That's all I would be focused on. So, it talks about how she came into the spotlight when she and Marjorie Taylor Greene got into that verbal cat fight, as if they weren't in the House of Representatives and like they were on a Bravo with Andy Cohen sitting between them for a Real Housewives reunion. So here's what happened. She called Marjorie Taylor Greene a, quote, bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Like she was bleach blonde, bad built butch body. After Greene ridiculed her fake eyelashes. So that's how she got national attention, is in that. So what happened was that her lesbian constituents that were supporting her started complaining. They got mad about that for the derogatory use of the term butch. She told her gay staffers, that's not offensive. You're stupid if you think so. I love that. That ain't offensive, and you stupid if you think so. Then they said that the main thing she does is that every time she gets in the House and they're in some sort of a hearing or whatever, it doesn't matter what the topic is or what issue they're working, she only wants to go in there and bring it around to criticizing President Trump so she can get a social media clip that can go all around because she'd rather be an influencer. So just as everybody suspected, I mean, you can hear her and watch her for 5 minutes, or not even that long, and know that she's just rotten. She's a low-life, mean, stupid person. And trashy. Now, I'm not saying Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't trashy, because she does some trashy stuff too. But this is about Jasmine Crockett. And they're putting her out front. But here's what the Democrats do and the media, what they do. And Rush Limbaugh used to always talk about this. He'd say, the media only can destroy people that they created in the first place. So you take somebody like Jasmine Crockett, Jazzy, who doesn't really have any big successes or any any accomplishments like AOC, Sandy Cortez, and they put them out front as, they're great, they're so intelligent, they're so and da-da-da-da-da, oh, look, they're so great. And the media people know when Jazzy Crockett is on their show and they're interviewing her, and she is talking the way she talks, and she's using incorrect grammar, and she's cussing, and she's, doing all these other things, they know that she's stupid. But they keep putting her out there. And then what happens one day is when the media makes you, then the media can break you. They control it. And she'll probably get broken one day by the media. Once they feel like the media and the white Democrat party bosses, once they've used her enough, then she'll be pushed to the side. And with the redrawing of these districts, she may not even be a representative anymore after the next election. And then she'll really be done for. You know why? Because she's not hideous looking. If you're hideous looking or overweight in the Democrat Party, and you fail and fail and fail, they still put you out there because they feel like people will listen to you because they have sympathy for you. Jasmine Crockett's pretty, so they won't have any use for her anymore. And that will be a glorious day for the entire world. All right. Tell you the truth, I don't know what's coming up next. Because I've been listening to, during the breaks, I've been listening to clips of Brett Winterble, and I'm finding out where his weaknesses are so I can take the afternoon show too. I'm taking them all. Try to stop me. All right, hang on.
The older I get, I realize I need to be more prepared in case of an emergency. Prep Starts Now is a business that can take your family's preparedness to the next level. I just personally bought a car battery, an air compressor, an emergency backpack for the car, so now I feel prepared if anything comes my way. Go to tjritchie.com/deals, code TJ for 15% off.
Zevo Life is the ultimate all-in-one nutritional formula. It's one of the very best superfoods available. And right now you can save 30% on your Zevo Life order at tjritchie.com/deals. Use promo code TJ at checkout for 30% off.
Identifying liberalism and mocking it relentlessly. This is the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Here I am, the show stealer, the backstabber. That's me. Until that long-tongued liar, the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, sooner or later gotta cut you down. That's me. I just had a thought. As long as people are wondering whether or not I'm serious, or person is wondering whether or not I'm serious about, when I joke about taking over the morning show on WBT, I got to go ahead and do it now, just to prove a point. I'm going to do it. You know what else I'm going to do, Lonnie? I love the music on the radio station next door.
Yeah. I'm
going to go over there and take Olympia D's place.
Okay. She better watch out.
No, she better. I'm taking every job in this building that has a microphone. I'll just move in up here. I'll do every single show.
TJ radio station.
But look at this. Corporate people will be all about it because they don't pay me anything, so they be getting free host services on every one of these stations. I tell you what, I'm even going to go down the hall, go into the other wing of the building and take some TV jobs while I'm down there on WBTV. Who's this on here right now? This weather chick. Y'all know her name? I see her in the building all the time.
Yeah, that's Rachel Coyle.
All right, Rachel, I'm coming for you. You better get a demo reel ready. You're going to be doing the weather in Paducah, Kentucky by the end of the week. Oh, and what's that? That's Al Conklin, isn't that his name?
No, that's not Al.
That's
Conklin.
not
It's Jamie.
Jamie, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know him. He's very nice. I've been a guest with his in that studio several times. I hate to see him go. I'm taking him too. Every damn body gonna be gone. All right, I gotta get serious about something here. Okay, look, I am not an expert on foreign policy. I just know the basic things that are right and wrong. And I am what the Jewish people would refer to as a righteous Gentile. And I am as far on the side of Israel as you can get. And I see Israel as being targeted by the left, which would include all Marxists and American Marxists and our Marxist media, all of them. They are targeted the same way conservatives are targeted here, unfairly. And it's all because of envy and just this ignorance that thinks that if you're successful, it's because you stole it from somebody else. You didn't earn it. You stole it from somebody else. And all of these Hamas cockroaches that are still holding these hostages, the ones that attacked Israel on October 7th in the most brutal, savage way you can imagine, and more Jews were killed in that one day than have been killed since the Holocaust. Yet the media and in all over the world, in the Western countries, turned against Israel in that. And our college campuses full of people protesting and bullying and terrorizing British students at these colleges and stuff. So now you can really see, it's out there in the open. You can see what these snakes, these Hamas snakes, you can see what they're doing. They're playing the American media, and the American media goes right along with it. There are videos out now where you can clearly see that they're faking these starving children to try to make it and get everybody on the side of Hamas, or I'm sorry, the Palestinians, which is Hamas, because Hamas is in charge of the Palestinians. They're over them, holding them basically as prisoners. And they want everybody to be against Israel, and they use the media to do that. But they continue to do it. Wouldn't you stop and go, all right, these people are bloodthirsty terrorists. They're animals. Why would we be believing them with any of the statistics they release? Why would we believe them when they say people are starving? Now, why is it Israel's responsibility to keep the people from starving who are in Gaza where Hamas rules? So it is Israel's responsibility, obviously, so they send thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds of food over there. It gets taken by Hamas and either sold to the Palestinian people who are in dire need of it, or it gets hijacked. I mean, there are videos of all of this food just being taken and not given to the people, but they still blame Israel. Why is Israel expected to even send the food? They were attacked. They continue to be attacked. Hamas is a terrorist group. Why would anybody in our country be allowed to march for the betterment and the support of a terrorist organization in the first place? Then we try to revoke visas and send them off and, all this stuff. And then the liberals cry and the courts shut it down. And, it makes no sense to me. Well, it does make sense to me. It makes sense to me that the people who are doing all of this and allowing it to happen, the Americans who are allowing it to happen, hate America and want to tear it down, like Bernie Sanders and Sandy Cortez and all of the other Marxists that are in our midst, all the little slimy tentacles of Marxism that are sucking in every direction, picking up pieces of the country and destroying it. No other country is expected to feed the people that attack them. It's mind-boggling to me. It's just weird and it's a bizarro world. No other country is expected to feed the people who are holding their citizens hostage, who killed many of their citizens unprovoked. So, I honestly think it's got to come down to Israel just turning loose and wiping Hamas out of there by any means necessary. I would cheer that. You know why? That's just me personally. I don't like evil. Call me kooky. I don't like evil. So, what you can do is, if you don't like it, then you can go over there to Gaza and tell them I said it.
Hear the TJ Ritchie Show every weeknight at 7 Eastern. Stream it live at tjritchie.com or listen later as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or my media center at tjritchie.com. You'll be so glad you did, hopefully. That's tjritchie.com.
Live from the big city of Charlotte, North Carolina, it's TJ on the news.
Oh, here we go. Fun time. I have an announcement to make, though, before we get into TJ on the news. I just saw sweet Brenda from the cleaning crew in the hall, and she is so sweet, and I just want to shout out to her. And I really like her, but I'm taking her job, too. Sorry about that, but I'm going to be a cleaning SOB up in here. All right, Lonnie's here. Andrew is here. It's time for TJ on the news lead story. A 51-year-old woman, a 51-year-old woman named Janice Oney was arrested after she intentionally started a fire at a man's home in Maryland. The man said Janice was, quote, someone he had known for several years, end quote. And she showed up at his home and became upset, demanding that he give her the $7 he owes her.
Oh, man.
$7.
Oof.
He said, I don't owe you $7. They argued, and then she just said, okay. And she left. Came back a few minutes later with a bottle of gasoline, poured it in front of the door and ignited it, and then rode off on a bicycle. So he noticed that the fire had been started, and he was able to extinguish it before authorities arrived. So there was no real damage other than to his door, I guess.
Wow.
So So she's looking at first and second degree arson charges, malicious burning, reckless endangerment, and destruction of property. But here's the thing. They never found out why she thought that he owed her $7. There's something, that's the main part of the story. Why is the $7 in question?
Exactly. What's the reasoning behind it?
That's what I'm saying.
Sounds like a Lisa Left Eye Lopez moment.
Also, another thing that gets me about the whole thing, the getaway vehicle was a bicycle?
Yeah, it actually said sped away on a bicycle, but I know that's a damn lie. She wasn't speeding away. If you're that crazy and you're just trying to set something on fire because you need $7, you're not speeding away on it. 'Cause you're not Lance Armstrong. Let me put it that way. You wobbly riding it away,
right?
That
more like
sort of
a
thing.
turtle than Lance Armstrong.
All right, next story. Police in England uncovered a drug gang led by an inmate named Adam Garnett. He in the penitentiary. You got to go to penitentiary. They found cell phones and all in his prison cell, and you're not supposed to have that. They call them prison cell phones. Yeah. Oh, God, love me. So when they found those cell phones, they saw all of the people that he with whom he had been communicating, and they got search warrants for those people's homes. And when they went and searched this one home, they found a bunch of other cell phones and started looking at those, and there were videos on these cell phones of a woman teaching her parrot how to use drug lingo. And then there was also a video of the parrot playing in the money, a lot of cash, along with finding drugs and everything. But basically the parrot knocked her out.
Wow.
Yeah. So
ain't that something?
So ain't you so stupid to be teaching a parrot
drug dealer?
Yeah. And why would you be videoing it? It's got to be the worst drug dealer. But this is in England, so they may not have really skilled drug dealers like we have in U.S. America.
Yeah, I feel like they're not as sophisticated in England as they are here.
We are the best. We're number one. that drug dealer patriotism that we've got. But parrots can be creepy. Lonnie, have you ever been around a parrot that was squawking and talking and stuff?
I'm going to tell you, I don't like those eyes of the parrots, man. They scare me, man. Yeah.
I went in a woman's house in Texas one time, and she had a giant white cage that looked like, it was the size of a stand-up tanning bed, which I know you probably don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Being African-American and all. What kind of example am I using here? Hey, you know what tanning salons are like, right?
Oh, yeah.
So stupid. Anyway, there was a big white cage and had one of those white birds in it with the stuff, it looks like they got a mullet or something or a mohawk. And that thing would screech about every 5 minutes on the clock. Boom.
Yeah.
Like that.
I don't like those birds. They look like the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, lady, I got to get out of here. I like you and all, but my visit is over. Next story.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice.
Follow this with me now. First of all, this is a story about someone in Seattle, so we're already dealing with a freak. Because everybody in Seattle is a weirdo freak. Except for Frazier and his family. They're the only ones. So, the police arrested a 33-year-old man for making threats with a knife at Trader Joe's. And then, as he has the knife and he's threatening people, he looks over and he spots a refrigerator. And that refrigerator did something, triggered something in him, and he went over there and started romancing that refrigerator, going to town on it, right? So police officers responded, and they said that he was brandishing the knife at security, and then shortly after that, he was threatening to kill everybody in the store. They confronted the man for allegedly getting all up on the refrigerator in that way, like he loved it. And police booked him, and he's a registered sex offender in King County. No shocker there. But I mean, if you're going to be attracted to an appliance, would a refrigerator be what you would want?
Hey, everything counts, even appliances.
I know, but wouldn't you want some kind of like a smaller, cute appliance? I mean, you wouldn't want a big back refrigerator.
Yeah,
You
like
would?
a little mini fridge.
I would say my appliance of choice would probably be a microwave. Like, you can't go wrong with a microwave. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
microwaves
you'd be-
are romantic, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you'd be done in a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. What's not to love about that?
here. Oh no, women don't like that. Okay, we can't get too sexual here, Andrew. Final story.
Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
All right, y'all need to watch the WBT text line driven by Liberty Buick GMC because I think the ladies may just light it up. Major League Baseball is calling up its first female umpire who will be promoted for Saturday's Miami Marlins Atlanta Braves game. Her name is Jen Powell. She'll work the bases during the doubleheader that day and then be behind the plate on Sunday. Commissioner Rob Manfred said, quote, "This historic accomplishment in baseball is a reflection of Jen's hard work, dedication, and love of the game. She's earned this opportunity, and we are proud of the strong example she has set." All right. She's been in the AAA league for about 10 years, I think, or in the minors for 10 years. And obviously they move up like players do. So she's been in AAA. Now, here's my question. They're talking about, I mean, this is far overdue. But why? Have they been promoting umpires that are not so great, who are men? And then now they finally got a woman who is sufficient and she's better than all the other men? Or is it about time just for the symbolism of it? And this is not fair to her. Making such a huge deal about her being a woman it automatically puts thought in people's heads like, well, does she get promoted because she's a woman or because she is a great umpire? Is she getting promoted on merit or on her sex? Now, here's the thing with me. I am against women being umpires behind the plate, calling balls and strikes. I don't have a problem with them calling bases. But the problem is that if they're calling balls and strikes, it's going to irritate me because I hate hearing a woman scream. And the reason why I don't like hearing women scream is because I'm a man. Men, when they are little boys, there's something in our ears that is super sensitive to the sound of a screaming woman. Starts with our mothers. Then it goes to our girlfriends and wives. Then when our little girls come along, our daughters, they scream and you're like, I can't take it. So that would be the only reason that I would have a problem with it. And it's just because I don't like women screaming. I've tried to avoid that my entire life. Men will usually do whatever it takes to avoid a woman screaming. That's why I don't watch any of those housewives shows or any of that.
Oh,
why would I invite that into my house when I'm trying to avoid the women screaming?
Like Real Housewives?
I just can't do it.
Nope.
Yeah, the Real Housewives.
Yeah, exactly.
Show. Thanks for clearing that up for me, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
I'm taking his job next.
You gonna be answering the phones, huh?
I'll do it all, man. I don't care. You know me. I'll snake somebody in a hurry. Backstabbing. But the only thing that hurts my ears more than a woman just yelling is a woman yelling into a microphone. That's why I don't believe in women radio people. And that's why I'm going to take all of them's job that work here. Like when they're calling out lottery numbers and things like that at events, they get to, like, okay. All right, well, that's it for TJ on the news.
The older I get, I realize I need to be more prepared in case of an emergency. Prep Starts Now is a business that can take your family's preparedness to the next level. I just personally bought a car battery, an air compressor, an emergency backpack for the car, so now I feel prepared if anything comes my way. Go to tjritchie.com/deals, code TJ for 15% off.
late, live, and local. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Enjoy them while you can. That Bo and Beth. We taking over. We the best music. In case you're wondering why I keep saying all that tonight, I'm just poking and prodding and all of that. I'm having some fun because I haven't talked to the gentleman yet, but I heard that an employee here was not really understanding how silly and sarcastic I was being about taking over the morning show. And so I've just, been taking that and running with it and saying I'm taking over everybody's job. I went down there and sat in the market manager's job, Miss Marcia, and I sat at her desk during the last break, trying to get fitted for that. Miss Marcia, I'm taking. I'm gonna be I'm over all of these stations, and I'll be my own boss because I'll be the only one working at any of the radio stations in the building. I'll be doing everything from the whatever a market manager does to cleaning the building. I'm gonna do it all. So actually, that one guy, he's the only one that got it right. He saw through it. What did I have here that was going on? Oh, I was there was some information that I don't know when this was posted, but I think it was posted today. It's about Fauci. You remember Fauci? Dr. Anthony Fauci, wear a mask. I just say wear a mask. Okay. But I just ask you where the bathroom was. Wear a mask. I know it doesn't do any good, but wear it. Wear a mask. Social distancing, wear a mask. And you could tell he was shady. Just a little, an evil little elf, right? Not the cool kind that make cookies and trees. This is an evil kind. Little leprechaun with a knife. Well, he got pardoned before he could even be investigated, which, if that's not a Democrat move, I don't know what is. Before Trump can come in here and take over, since he won the election, we're going to pardon all of these people that he may call to be accountable for the stuff that they did. Now, this has, kind of been pushed out of the headlines, but that's one of the biggest scandals in American history itself. And I know we're talking about the Russia hoax and the treason that comes with that and all of that stuff, and that's a big scandal. But during the Obama administration, the Fast and Furious scandal was huge. They always say Obama's presidency was, there were no scandals. What? Get out of here. So then Obama led that Russia hoax deal. And then the scandal about all of these things that happened with the auto pen, people getting pardons because Joe Biden was too far gone in his mental decline to even show up and know what he was doing. So the auto pen is programmed to do the president's signature, right? And it's only for things like when people, like kids, write into the president and say, it's my birthday and da-da-da-da-da, and the president would send Reagan was always one to do this, but he did it mostly on his own. He didn't have an auto pen, but Reagan was he had such a love of writing that he loved writing people notes all the time. And so he would send these kids out these birthday wishes or thank this little card, thank you for supporting me and so forth and so on. But that's what the auto pen is for, because the president can't sit around all day and sign fan mail and send it back and all that. But the Biden administration was using it for official presidential duties and all. And so Fauci's pardon, they're saying, was approved at 10:30 p.m. by White House aide Jeff Zients using the auto pen signature. That's according to the New York Times. Nobody ever elected Jeff Zients to do anything. So, therefore, I would say that Fauci is not pardoned. I don't think anybody should have been pardoned anyway before they're even brought up on any sort of investigation. They get a pardon. I would really like to see Fauci in jail. I really would. But I want his jumpsuit to be cutoffs. I want him to be wearing some really short cutoffs, you know, like the young women wear at the beach over their bikini bottoms, you know, where he won't even button them. They're just really short cutoff orange shorts with the top unbuttoned and unzipped, showing his belly. That's what I don't know why. That's what I want to see his prison uniform looking like. Because isn't he just a slimy little worm? Just a little garden gnome. Because, you know, one of the scariest things in America is a Chucky doll. And if you put a knife in his hand and put some overalls on, little blue overalls on him, that's what he would be. Lonnie, did you get any of those shots?
You know, unfortunately, for me to be able to work for this company.
No, they made you do that?
Made me do it.
Oh, no. So I heard of that. I heard of that going on.
And it was with a lot of us in here. So, yeah.
Man. Well, I'm glad I didn't have that shot. And I kicked COVID's butt twice, at least.
Wow.
And you know, I'm not a healthy young person, but you know what I am? I'm a patriotic American, by God. And that COVID virus, that China virus, wasn't staying in me. I said, you think you're gonna take away my sense of taste? The hell you are, Mr. COVID, Xi Jinping. No. So I just, you know how you say when you're hungover, then, you know, they call it the hair of the dog. You start drinking, when you wake up, you start drinking more alcohol and your hangover goes away. That's what I did. When I got COVID, and that was back when they still thought it came from the wet market, they called it. It was a diseased bat. I just started eating bats.
What?
Hair of the bat, man. And it wasn't too bad. It's kind of like a duck breast, but with hair and teeth. But no, seriously, I'm glad I didn't get that. No offense. I mean, I'm sure nothing's going to happen to you. Don't let me make you think that. But
I got side effects right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you not smell?
Somewhat still.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You still carrying fever?
I know Isaac can't smell. So.
Oh, he had it too?
Yeah, he had it.
But was he working here and had to get the shot, or he wasn't working here yet?
He wasn't working here yet, so he got lucky. So.
Well, wear a mask. You see, it's a full circle. Hang on.
Hear the TJ Ritchie Show every weeknight at 7 Eastern. Stream it live at tjritchie.com or listen later as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or My Media Center at tjritchie.com. You'll be so glad you did, hopefully. That's tjritchie.com.
Bringing the heat.
Oh, hot, hot, hot.
whatever that means. This is the TJ Ritchie Show on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Oh, man. I just thought of something, Lonnie. You know how much I love Pam the Jam Warner. Damn, I'm going to hate having to take her job. Her and Anna. Oh, my God. I didn't even think of this.
You're going to be busy, man.
I think this one's the worst one. I'm going to feel worse about this one than any of them. Boomer Von Cannon. I love that man. I love that man. And I'm gonna put him out of radio.
I don't know if I can let you take Boomer's job.
I got to, man. I got to. That's probably the most coveted. I'm taking Boomer. Oh. Dixon, all of them. Oh, God. You talk about a mental load. I'm going to be taking it on. That's what I'm going to be doing. But then again, I'm the best radio person in the history of, even before they invented radio, I was the best radio person. So I can handle it. Because it just doesn't make sense for the company to have the best radio person in the world in the building working for free and not put him on every show. You know? Just the way it is. I thought this would be fun because we haven't had one of these in a while. You know, I'm always on the social medias, you know, like a middle schooler. And I see all of these videos where police have made a traffic stop, and it's usually, a lot of the times, it's a woman, and the woman doesn't think she has to do what the officers say she has to do. And very unlike women, they argue and argue and argue and argue. And this was just one that I pulled that we could enjoy together, one with another. Listen,
I promise you right now, I am not lying to you. No. I just got my license. Why do you keep telling me no? No. Why do you keep doing that?
You don't have a driver's license.
What are you talking about?
You don't have a driver's license.
That paperwork says I have a driver's license. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
I'm calling 911 is what I'm doing.
Don't call 911. I'm going to arrest you for misuse of 911.
I'm going to call 911
I'm telling you right now, if you call 911, hang up the phone.
You are scaring
hang up the phone.
Supervisor.
Hang up the phone.
Call your
There's
supervisor.
no reason to call 911.
Then call your
All right.
supervisor.
I'm telling you right.
okay. It had a little bit of a no word in it. Thought it had been edited. Because, you know, those women that argue with the cops, they cuss a lot. You know. So did you catch that? Yeah, good. Let's play it again. I mean, people got to get used to that. It's going to be on WBT 24 hours a day. My style, you know. You know, making mistakes and everything. You know, you're not used to that Bo Thompson making mistakes. He's so solid. But once I get up in there, it's going to be a free for all. He is handsome, though, isn't he? That Bo Thompson's a good-looking man.
Yeah, he's got that nice hair.
You know what I may do? I may let him stay on as a, face for the advertisements and billboards. And I'm going to go back to old school radio billboards. Mm-hmm. And I want Bo's face to be up there because he's handsome. I think that would work. Get him going on that. Okay, what about that Stacey Abrams cut? I don't think it needed any editing, any bleeping or anything. Okay, this is Stacey Abrams, who ran for governor of Georgia twice. Full-blown communist. I mean, as communist as a communist can get. And she's one of those that in the Democrat Party that fails and gets promoted. They keep pushing her out there like she's an expert, like she's just, the golden child of the Democrat Party. And The only thing she's ever won in an election is a 12-pack of nothing. That's what she's won, a 12-pack of nothing. But here she is talking trash again. Listen.
Among the many other vile things that Donald Trump has been called, including tyrant, liar, scam artist, he is also an aspiring dictator, supported and guided like a puppet by a cabal of tech billionaires, Christian nationalists, and xenophobes who all have his ear and understand government a lot better than he does.
Oh. Trump won 3 elections for president. The only office he's ever run for, he won 3 times. Yeah, I said it. 3 times. Because even if it hasn't been proven, we've seen enough solid evidence to know how badly Democrats cheat. And even though we can't put our hands on the exact proof, we know just from common sense that the Democrats had to have cheated to beat him in the second election. But Stacey Abrams hadn't won anything. But you see, that's part of their technique, is that they always accuse their opponents of doing what they do. You know, people don't stop and think, okay, so he's a wannabe dictator, right? The Republicans are always the ones who want to be dictators, which doesn't make sense because the Republicans, and especially the conservatives, are the ones who want to get government out of our lives. We want less government. Because conservatives are brave enough to be free. You know, living freely is not for the weak. And that's why Democrats prey upon the weak to bring them to their side. You know, because they're always promising stuff. We're going to do this for you, and we're going to do that for you. And, you know, this Mamdani in New York, everything now is about affordability. You got to have affordable housing. You're going to have health care. You're going to have this. You're going to have that. Which what you're going to end up with is poverty. Because the only people that get things in a Marxist society are the Marxist leaders, the communist leaders. So it comes down to this. Let's just take that statement that Stacey Abrams just made, that little short thing. Here are the two choices. She's either completely stupid, or she's a shady, good-for-nothing liar. Those are the only 2 options with those kinds of statements. If you really believe what you just said, that Trump is a wannabe dictator and, you know, he's got the Christian nationalists and they're trying to take over. If you really believe all of that, then you're just stupid. You're not clicking all the way up there. You might need to go to the hospital. But you could still be, have a level of intelligence. I wouldn't be as concerned if you don't believe it and you're just being shady and lying and trying to con people and manipulate them for your own benefit, which I suspect is what she's doing. I don't think Stacey Abrams is stupid enough to believe what she just said. So she's got to be corrupt, crooked, shady, shisty, all of it. But keep putting her out there, please. If the Commucrats just keep pushing her out there, everything's going to be all right for us. All right, more coming up.
The older I get, I realize I need to be more prepared in case of an emergency. Prep Starts Now is a business that can take your family's preparedness to the next level. I just personally bought a car battery, an air compressor, an emergency backpack for the car, so now I feel prepared if anything comes my way. Go to tjritchie.com/deals, code TJ for 15% off.
He's radio royalty in the Carolinas and Queen Charlotte's sweetest prince. It's TJ Ritchie on News Talk 1110 and 99.3 WBT.
Remember, you can do it. Put your back into it. Thanks so much for listening. And you know what, 11 listeners? I really want to thank you for getting me. That's so special in my world. For somebody to get me. I love being seen and heard and being allowed to tell my truth. My truth. Nobody else's truth. My truth. Not only do I love being seen and I love being heard and I love telling my truth, I also love to be celebrated. For no reason. Just celebrate me. I have no major accomplishments to celebrate lately, but still. I'm a human. This was a text we got a little while ago from an outfit named Frank. At first, I thought he was ripping on me, which I guess he kind of was at first. He said, TJ, I heard you sub for Vince Coakley previously and was not impressed when I heard you were taking over the 7 p.m. slot. Okay. However, I've been listening to some of your show every night, and I've done a complete 180. Okay, I always get confused. A 180 is where you turn around and go the other way. A 360 is a full circle, right? Yeah, okay. I'm not good with geometry.
Yeah.
That'd be degrees and all that's geometry.
Yep.
All right. So that's a good thing. You're doing a great job. Are well-informed, funny, and interesting. Very interesting. And then he said, don't let the cuss words get you down, meaning he referred to people as cuss words. So thank you, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Frank you. You see? Thank you with Frank. Okay. Play on words. There are two men that I think are fantastic, and they happen to be in the same clip. One man's name is Wesley Hunt. The other's name is Byron Donalds. They are both African-American gentlemen, and they are U.S. representatives. And this is a clip of their speaking on Jazzy Crockett. Listen.
I don't care how many black MAGA out there with their hats. I want to be clear when we look at who it is that he's kicking out of this country as people of color. This is a person that has a problem with people of color, period.
No. President Trump is doing a great job, better than any Republican in modern history when it comes to black men.
The Democratic Party has done a very good job of bringing up racism a lot. And I'm going to tell you something. Byron and I aren't slaves, and nobody that's living today is a slave owner. We have moved on.
Ain't nobody stopping a black man from voting in the United States of America. It ain't happening.
And the idea that we are sitting here right now from majority white districts, the both of us, as strong black men, is going to tell you that we are living Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. We are literally being judged not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. So stop that. So what's in the best interest of our families from a policy standpoint? Easy is the Republican Party.
And if you always do what you've always done, which is voting for Democrats, you're going to always be where you've always been. That's right. More inflation and not getting ahead and wondering why things aren't working out.
So you see, I say those same things every night, but it doesn't carry as much weight because I'm a vanilla face. And I'm also not a distinguished member of Congress. That helps. When you're a highly educated, distinguished member of Congress, people tend to listen to you more than if you're just a has-been DJ. But in all seriousness, that's what the Democrats do when they are desperate. There's nothing that Donald Trump has done with ICE that's racist. He doesn't have a problem with black and brown people. And you notice the lowlives like Jazzy Crockett, when they start in on this stuff, that's just what, in their talking points or whatever, they start talking a lot faster. They start speaking a lot faster. picking up, and it's just because it's programmed. They're not thinking about what they're saying. It's just a programmed speech that they've been told by their Democrat bosses to get out there and give. So you see what she's saying is that because Joe Biden's administration, I don't ever say Joe Biden did anything, because I don't think Joe Biden ever really did anything. I think he was, pretty much a functional vegetable through his entire presidency. And I think those Marxists behind him were running everything. So the Biden administration let all of these illegal aliens come in with just open borders, and millions of them flooded in. So when Donald Trump comes in and he's trying to do what's right, which is uphold the immigration laws and get the people out of here who don't belong, because, a country has to have borders and immigration policy, or they're not a country. They have no protection within the boundaries of the country. So, and it's all by design. They're like, hey, let's let all of these people of color in. The more we can get, the better, because then when Trump comes along and he starts trying to deport them, then we have a major campaign issue, and we'll get the black men back on our side, because we'll say he's just being racist because he's got a problem with black and brown people. Black and brown people, black and brown people. That's how he's got a problem with black and brown people. Just spit it out, spit it out, spit it out, spit it out, because it's so rehearsed and programmed. So their logic is, and it's not what they really believe, it's just, the propaganda that they spew in order to indoctrinate people and manipulate them so they can, control them. They spill all of this out, and it's to say that if the president, who is the head of the immigration department, if the president says these people are criminals from another country, they're only in this country because they came in here illegally and they have to go, let's pick them up, apprehend them, and deport them. Now they're salivating because they can go all through the election season saying, look what he has done. He's sending these poor black and brown people, snatching them up off the streets with these thug ICE agents who may not even be ICE agents because their faces are covered and da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, one good thing is that it's not working as much as it used to. That's good. People are, they're hip to it, how it works. And I think it is to people who are paying attention and don't just hate Trump for being Trump. They're seeing all of these things that are coming out now about how Democrats operate that, you and I, the conservatives, have seen and known for years. But a lot of people who aren't that into politics and all that, they're just now seeing it. Like, wait a minute, look at all of this stuff. They lied about this. They lied about that. They lied about COVID. They lied, everything. And they're starting to see it. And I just hope that we can continue on this pattern of educating people. And you know what? We don't have to go out and yell and scream in people's faces on the street to get them to see our point. We can make our points confidently, calmly, without getting overly emotional, because we know that we have the truth on our side. And we haven't been worked up into a frenzy like somebody who's emotionally delicate. It's something about those septum rings that the liberal white women wear in their nose that it's like a radio antenna. Yeah, it just sucks all of that liberal propaganda into their face and poisons them. Okay. We got the great one, Mark Levin, coming up.
The older I get, I realize I need to be more prepared in case of an emergency. Prep Starts Now is a business that can take your family's preparedness to the next level. I just personally bought a car battery, an air compressor, an emergency backpack for the car, so now I feel prepared if anything comes my way. Go to tjritchie.com/deals, code TJ for 15% off.
Hear the TJ Ritchie Show every weeknight at 7 Eastern. Stream it live at tjritchie.com or listen later as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or My Media Center at tjritchie.com. You'll be so glad you did, hopefully. That's tjritchie.com.